Well, welcome everybody. It is Sunday, March 15th, the Ides of March, noon p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, or whatever time it happens to be where you are because you are watching us right now. It is time for The Master's Mind. And we're really glad to have you with us. A great way to end the previous week and start the new week with some nice inspiration. And so, let's go ahead and get inspired by our GPSs to successes, our dear friends and mentors. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Terry and Robert Hollis.
Hello, everyone. My incredible Unlimited Wisdom family and members. It's neat to see you, Arthur. Usually catch up on Sunday. It's great to see you. Of course, Matthew, I'm sure the Hannah and Ezra's back there. Bill, brother Bill, Michael and Angela, Lisa Marie, Deborah, Grady. Great to see you on here. And let me see, Melody, Scott, and of course, hostess with the mostest, Craig Jackman. Great to have you guys on here. So again, Master's Mind is really truly all about getting the relationship you want with that higher power. And one of the things that if you guys haven't been on the shows that we've been doing called Drifting, how to outwit the devil, I really would highly suggest that you go through them. I'm even going to ask Dana. It's funny. I was thinking Professor. It was like Professor Dana. I know that there's going to be a couple of reviews on the end of that book. But one of the things that I really I'm going to ask him to do, and maybe we won't have to do it, is have him also go through the parts and give us his take on the written parts that are not in the audio. You know what I mean? And so I don't know, this week I shared this, Craig shared something with me, and that inspired me to find this. And I know you guys we've always heard that when you're dealing with anything to do with personal development is as you think in your heart, you are. Wow. That was a good change on that one. And here's the reason that I say this. The one thing that I'm really realizing more than ever is that when you're drifting, what would stop you? So I just want to throw that out to you guys. I didn't even know how I was going to present it. So I'm just letting go and letting God. What would stop you from wanting to build the best relationship you could with your creator? Deborah, perfect, man. Just perfect. Our minds. And so a lot of you may or not know this, but Joe Rogan had a Charlie Kirk. Thank you again, Mary. Mary's husband, Chris, did this for me. And there's only two of them in the world. That's cool. But when Joe Rogan's had a few people other than Charlie Kirk on his podcast, and I love his words. He goes, there's no one that I know that was more cynical and doubtful about God. And he says, and I know why it is, because it's all thinking. It's all science. And he said, so all of a sudden when I had some conversations with some of these people, and it just made my mind go, just what if I'm wrong? Why wouldn't I take as much time to investigate the other side instead of just saying it's not for me, I don't believe it, I don't believe in God, blah, 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 blah. Why not just go in all on the other side? And he said that he started taking his wife and children to church. And he said, for those of you that haven't done this, he goes, let me just say this one statement. He goes, I asked a bunch of people about a church in our area in Austin, And he said, I went to the church. And he goes, all I can tell you is if you could bottle up in a pill how kind these people are there. He goes, so I don't know how long they've all been on their journey, but they're nice people. They're kind people. They're thoughtful people. And he goes, they're not that way in my world. He said, he goes, people that are extremely cynical and sarcastic and always looking at the world from a negative side. And, you know, they're he said, that's just who they are. He goes, they're not just that way with God. They're that way with other people. They're that way with politics. They're that way with everything. And he said, I was just really looking at these people and going, man, if I could bottle up in a pill to every day feel like I needed to be kind to people and I needed to love people unconditionally. And he says, we hear these phrases out there all the time is, you know, you're supposed to pray for your enemies. And he's going, so as I consistently go to church, he goes, the one thing that I'm realizing is that it's all again based on your belief. And he said, so these people really believe in their heart that they're children of God. They 1000% believe it in their heart. What other things do they believe in their heart? That they're loved unconditionally, that they are enough, that they're miracles, that their DNA, you know, proclaim your uniqueness. There's no one else like them. There's other scriptures in the Bible that say, you know, that I knew of you before you were born. And so people that believe that there is a higher power that's there helping them, then I thought, well, in drifting, what drifting is really, and having this hypnotic rhythm that makes us really not be where we want to be in life. It's like, how many thoughts do you have in your head that are not only against God, but also that, he wouldn't want anything to do with me. I'm a total mess up. I should always pray, but I don't. I should read the Bible, and I don't. I should go to church, and I don't. There's this whole list of things that we should do to build this relationship with God. And we don't do it. So how many of you have thoughts in your mind that you're always falling short? It's like a lot of us, you know, in the other daily wisdoms and also the breakthroughs and then also the Ask Me Anythings. You know, there's a lot of people, Lisa Marie being one, Deborah being another, you know, of course, Melody way back in the day. There was always these thoughts that you have where you're a mess up, you're behind, you're always falling short, you're not good enough. What are the other things in your mind that you're constantly thinking that are just not true? Because we make them up. Well, if those are all those things where, you know, you're a procrastinator, you're lazy, you're not good enough, all of this stuff. If we're saying that stuff about ourselves, are we saying those things about our relationship with the Creator? I bet you we are. So I have these thoughts every day. If, for whatever reason, I don't read the Bible that day. I tell people like Lisa Marie and Deborah and other people, Bill, stop, Linda, stop beating up yourself. Coach Bob, stop beating up yourself. But I do it. So I'm like falling asleep, and all of a sudden I go, oh, I didn't read my Bible today. Maybe I didn't get on my knees and pray today. Maybe something got in the way and I didn't listen to my wash by the word. So how many of you have thoughts every single day that you're just not adding up? So now the question I want to leave you guys with is that true? Is that true? It's not true. So, how many people have done bad things in their lives? Okay? So then we ask for forgiveness, right? And then if we ask for forgiveness, it says in the scriptures and the gospels that we're forgiven. So then why do we keep bringing it up? It's like every time I pray, I ask for forgiveness. And it's like, hey, I wish you'd stop bringing it up. You already asked for forgiveness for that. You know what I mean? Just come on. And I'm sorry I didn't do this, and I'm sorry I didn't do this, and please forgive me for doing this. And it's like, wow, stop it. We really love that, Bob Newhart deal, or it's just like, stop it. So the conversation I do have a couple of quick things to cover, but one of the things that it says throughout the Bible is it always talks about in the Gospels, and I recently rewatched the Passion of the Christ. And it was really interesting because I forgot that it's all in Arabic subtitles.
Oh, yeah.
So me, reading it and then rewinding and reading it, it took me a while to go through it, but I really wanted to understand it all. And it just really, really got to me that when Jesus realized how much God loved him, his Father loved him, it was like just 1,000% unconditional. And there's a couple of cool things that I sort of researched. Of course, we all know that Jesus was just, the carpenter's son, Joseph's son, the carpenter, right? Do you know that his ministry didn't start until John the Baptist baptized him? So that was at 30, and then he was crucified at 33. So he really did all these things that he did, including talking to people. He did all that in 3 years. And one of the things that he consistently was telling the disciples is he kept telling them how much they were unconditionally loved. That regardless the way they thought, they would never understand the breadth, width, and the depth of the love that the Father has for you. And so in the 40 days after his resurrection that he stayed with people, all again that it was about is if you know what love is, then you know God. Because God sometimes, people put out there that it's like this image. You know what I mean? Long hair and a beard, you know what I mean? And it's like the whole concept is you guys can, come up with anything that you want. But because I understand that, dark matter and dark energy is just the 80% of nothing that holds everything together. So I know that I know, you might not know, but I know that God's in that 80% or 70% in me that's holding everything together. but he's also outside of me, and he penetrates and everything out there. It's all in everything. And it was funny because I had seen a bunch of things. I know I'd thrown a bunch of stuff at you. And I should have grabbed it and shared it with you guys, and maybe it'll come back. But I seen how many of you, if you said that you go to a religion, would say that you were a Catholic? Okay. Lisa Marie. Yeah, it's like when I went to church, it was Catholicism, right? And I always think that it was just funny. So this girl was playing where you talk to yourself, but it's two different people. You know what I mean? And so this girl, says, "Listen, I bought you a rosary." And the girl said, I'm an evangelical Christian, so no, no, thank you. And so all of a sudden she was going, "Well, why?" And he says, "Well, there's parts of it where you're, saying things to the Mother Mary and you're not addressing it directly to Jesus Christ." And so her explanation of the rosary just blew my mind because she studied that. So she was talking about the 5 sections, what they all stood for, and what the B's between the sections counted for, what the cross counted for. And she said, all the rosary is the gospel of Jesus Christ, and each section reminds you the things that you're supposed to be in remembrance of. Hi, Tom. Hi, David. Hi, Dustin. And it's like I never even thought about it, Coach Bob. It probably could be. I think I seen it on X, but it was like I don't know, woman describing what every part of the rosary is. You know what I mean? But the whole concept again is that we don't know the depth and the width and the of God's love for us. And so I just wanted to help everyone just remember that if you're saying anything negative to yourself, it's drifting. If you're saying anything negative to yourself, it's the adversary, it's the devil tricking you. Are you hearing me? That's drifting. So then when we feel like we're not worthy enough, we're not enough, we're not loved enough, we're so flawed, we're such a sinner. When you think about all that stuff and that you really don't need a relationship with a creator because you're just so awful, I'm telling you that's drifting as well. Me and Bill had a conversation. He's like, "Man, I just hope he forgives me." And whether you believe in God or not, or whether or not you like Donald Trump or not, don't you think it's pretty funny? Here's a guy that's the craziness that Donald Trump is, and his thoughts sometimes are like, "I'm just doing my best to get into heaven." That he still feels that some of the stuff that he's done is sort of warranted him not going. Don't you think that's very interesting? So it really doesn't make a difference who you are. How many people do you think that you could run in that felt the opposite? They felt they were enough. They felt worthy. They felt loved. Like that song that I know that I sent to a lot of you, where she says, "Every time that I know God looks at me, he smiles and he's proud of me." And there's some people in our lives that we treat that way. And it's like I sat there and I think, what, not only what could my sons possibly do wrong, but what could my grandkids do wrong? What could they do that we always hear this stuff, don't we, where a person does something wrong, like maybe kills somebody, and then they're in court, and the mom's there or the father's there, or both of them are there, And they're just like, it's what they're, everyone's like going, how can you possibly want anything to do with your child? They're like, it's my son, it's my daughter. Doesn't change the way I feel about them. Yeah, but they did these awful things. So again, if that is a part of it, I just thought I would share that with all of you, is just really, really take the time to, I've been using AI a lot, and I just put in here before we started, I said in the Bible, how much does God love us? And again, just a simple thought of it, that, God loved us so much that he took his only son and sacrificed him. That God demonstrates his own love for us while we were still sinners, and Christ died for us. So there's all these things that you're constantly hearing, that God is love. But we have a way of making sure that we're not worthy of that love, that we're not enough. And so that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. I hope you enjoyed that, because a lot of people, will put "I love you," or they'll put "I love and appreciate you." And look at Arthur's shirt, peace and love. It's like, so, it's really, because if you thought that way, if you could get your belief to, yes, I'm loved unconditionally, I am worthy, I am enough, I am a miracle, then and only then do I believe that you can step into the range where you believe, well, my belief in God allows me that all things are possible through those that believe. That I believe that all this stuff can happen because God's in control of my life. That I surrender, I ask for this assistance, and because of that, that happens. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thanks, David, for jumping on. And Tom, I think I said hi to everyone. Scott McKinney, I think there's 2 Scotts on here now, maybe not. But I love each and every one of you. Got anything? Do you love them, hon?
Who?
These people.
Yes.
Do you believe her?
Man.
See that? That's perfect, isn't it? She says she loves you guys, and if you don't think she does, that's on you. That's not on her. So we do love you guys.
I'm not enough, by the way. So
That's a fact. That is a fact. So again, love you guys. Thank you, David, Linda, Scott, Matthew, Hannah, Ezra, Bill, Brother Bill, Dustin, Tom. Great to have you on here. Arthur, Coach Bob, Michael, Angela, Lisa Marie, Deborah, and Melody, of course, Terry, and the hostess with the mostest, Craig. God bless you guys. Have a great and wonderful Sunday.